With a lot of high-end equipment coming on the horizon, including a bunch of wheelbases that I should get for review over the next couple of months, I have a few thoughts. There's a point in every hobby where progress slows down. Everything still moves forward, but at a very slower pace, and every new generation kind of seems like the last one. I think we're reaching that point in sim racing. I've tested a lot of equipment over the years. That includes wheels, wheelbases, pedals, shifters, you name it. So what I'm going to say in this video kind of will sound strange, especially from someone where its content mill kind of depends on reviewing stuff. Sim racing right now kind of feels like phones. I've had this phone for over 2 years now, and I don't feel like I'm going to upgrade soon. But first of all, a big thank you to all the viewers, members, and subscribers. Believe me when I say that videos like these wouldn't be possible without your support. If you want to support the channel, best way to do it, press like and subscribe, and also becoming a member. Thank you so much. And also a big thank you to today's sponsor, Coach Dave Academy. Coach Dave Academy is the premier sim racing resource to help you become the best sim racer you can be. You'll have access to telemetry, setups made by pro esports drivers like Yuri Kazdorp, reference laps, and coaching covering titles like iRacing, Assetto Corsa Competizione, Le Mans Ultimate, and Gran Turismo 7. Join in today, link in the description. Let's take out the obvious out of the way. It's really true that sim racing equipment has improved all over the years. It's absolutely undeniable. You know, wheels just a few years ago were still the Logitech G29. That would be the standard, or belt wheels like the T300s. And there was definitely a time between 2018 to 2022, 2023, where there was a huge step in terms of quality of everything. Wheelbases, wheels, pedals, shifters, the quality has improved dramatically. But lately, these improvements that we've seen in the past have slowed down quite a lot. New wheelbases are still technically better. They will have more torque, better slew rate. The software has actually improved quite a lot, but it's not at the same pace. We've reached a point where the top gear is really good, and that is actually trickling down to the lower ends of gear, and that is the part, for me, it's the most exciting part. This is not a bad thing, but the problem is that marketing doesn't stop, and honestly, over the last couple of months, I've seen few kind of interesting product shows, you know, with line charts and all of that, and things looking very Apple-y. That marketing doesn't stop, and that marketing really wants to create more hype over the things. After all, they have to sell more boxes of equipment. These presentations, often just like mobile phones, it really sounds super impressive, but the reality is not that. Every time a new piece of equipment comes out, there's this huge wave of excitement. You see social media posts, forum threads, and YouTube comments filled with people saying, yeah, I'm now going to jump ship. I'm moving from my super high-end wheel into this new super high-end one, or I'm going to upgrade day one. And I get it. It feels like fun. It feels like phones at sometimes. I'm going to get the new camera system. I'm going to take such good pictures and videos of my dog or whatever. I've even noticed that people don't really talk about the long-term experience with their upgrades. Only really the launch moments. It's like the biggest thrill is not from using the gear. It's actually from buying the gear. But when they do talk about it, they talk it in a way that it's very similar to what they had before if you boil everything down. What that launch buzz does is tell you that you really need to buy the new thing in order to stay relevant. But honestly, you really don't need to do that, because most likely, especially with a lot of high-end users, what they already have, it's already good enough. If you're already using a solid direct drive wheel and decent pedal sets, upgrading to the next one won't make you faster. It won't suddenly make your laps become more real. It might feel just a little bit smoother, if that at all, but the overall effect, it's pretty much the same as before. Once again, using my phone as an example, it might be true that the new phone will have better specs. It might be true that it may, technically do better photos if you start pixel peeping, but honestly, the user experience actually doesn't really change at all. It's pretty much the same thing. It has been the same thing for the last 5 years. When I test new hardware, I always do it in isolation. I'm opening it up, I'm unboxing it, mounting it, spending hours driving with it. In that moment, the equipment might feel really good. But then you start putting everything in context, and context always matters. And when that happens, you compare what you are trying, and it is new, and you compare it to whatever you already own and drive daily. But unless there's something wrong or very different, like in the case with the Magic Evo that I tried with LMU, that thing was wrong. Everything else is generally very average. It's within the averages of what we're already using. This is when you realize how relative everything is in sim racing. The context makes or breaks the perception of improvements. When you are comparing side by side, it is clear that we're dealing with refinement, not revolution, and oftentimes not even that. We haven't had a direct drive moment in over a while. The most exciting thing happening right now is trickling down of high-end qualities into the more affordable range. Everything that I've been testing over the last couple of years, you can see that it has been refined, polished over the edges, better thought of. But those changes generally are better when it's part of the quality of life improvements, not really about the technical aspects of it. And because the hardware ceiling is already so high right now, you are starting to see that companies, even though they are trying to differentiate themselves between each other, they are running out of ideas in order to do so. And you can see that just recently with a certain cube where the way they found how to differentiate themselves were shooting themselves in the foot. But upgrading can also be emotional. There's a rush that comes with unboxing something new, setting it up, and feeling like it's the first drive or driving it for the first time. It is exciting, it does feel like progress, but that feeling kind of fades away and you are left with something that is basically the same thing as you had before. Now, I'm not saying never upgrade. There are cases where it makes total sense, and even if it doesn't, it's your money, you can do whatever you want with it. If your old gear is failing, if it's uncomfortable or limiting you in a real way, or you found a good deal, or you are trying to impress a significant other with your car bed, it's your money, go for it. But once you are in that mid to high tier, upgrades should be about preference, not really about performance. Maybe you prefer a certain feature or a specific brand ecosystem. Those are valid reasons, but just don't expect a new wheelbase to magically transform your driving because it's all very samey. If you suck, you are still going to suck. Even mid-range setups offer fidelity and realism that would be unthinkable a decade ago at this price point. In my opinion, while having that new bunch of wheelbases that are coming out with 25 to 4 newton meters of torque, more torque than a Honda Type R kind of stuff, that is really cool. But the exciting thing that is happening right now, it is in lower range equipment. And this is the reason why I spent so much time advising people that want to do upgrades to choose sensibly and to do videos that allow them to have really top-notch experiences and really top-notch pieces of equipment without spending that much money. So yeah, upgrades from my ends to high ends are, in my opinion, are really not worth it at the moment because we have reached a plateau in sim racing equipment quality to the point where everything is very much like mobile phones and stuff. The hardware has matured, the returns are smaller and smaller as it is expected. Of course, if you jump a few generations, you're going to see, a big jump or a sensible jump, just like mobile phones. So that means if you have a decent enough equipment, learn to enjoy it because the things about sim racing are really not about pieces of equipment. That can be fun too, but it's about the driving. It's about the experiences. It's driving a shitbox A86 downhill Akina or listening to Gamer Muscle complain about subtle front end feel and stuff. And as he says, in order to unsubscribe, you need to press the subscribe button.